There is a sense in the air of drama. In addition, with the upcoming long weekend, the celebration of key historical days next week. Achterfeld describes himself as a simple man. And in terms of the language of art, this follows through into clear and simple and direct motifs and symbolism we observe in the artworks here displayed. The motifs of omesho, or eyes, depicted here as the many remaining shells of the marula nuts after they are opened for oil and other uses. Pausing and reflecting on the symbolic meaning, the purpose of our eyes, the center of feeling really, of sensation, and through which we take in the world really, and through which we observe our surroundings. This is a very key motif. The theme of omesho, eyes, Achterfeld's chosen motif, repeats in the symbolism of open marula nuts with eyes. As the artist moves from earlier to mid-career, the materials used speak loudly, having practiced lino for a decade, branching out again with some materials like paintings, but not departing from the imagery. From a printmaker's perspective, the artist admires the woodblock texture printing and recreates the pattern in the lino, if you look carefully. The use of smoke painting has definitely been personalized here and has a lot of significance to him, as his practice of it shows. Over the period these works are produced, the visual language expands if you compare earlier works like Boy to the smoke images. And the idea of simplicity comes back. But back to the symbols of eyes. The exhibition title of Onlooker further refers and hints at explanations of ways of seeing, ways of receiving information. What happens once we have seen? And here the artist refers to the reaction once we have seen as being an onlooker. This is a bit different from being an observer. As being an onlooker, a helpless onlooker, is where the social responsibility to take a stand on past events, current events, affects him, affects us. Over the 16 about pieces here on display remind us of history. We have seen, been part of, backward looking with the carving up of Africa into individual nations in 1884, which you can see in that, on that wall, as if a feelingless tree stump, but mind you, this piece of wood cries tears into a bin. Solutions or wish lists are depicted with the one African nation passport. I see Africa as one again. Titles, living freely. I see Africa, not Africa, our own language, Oshiwambo pronunciations. Sorry, I see Africa, not Africa. And youth and truth, the Oshiwambo way. I see future, I see Afro, I see one color. Very, very consistent African. We are on Namibian too, where decisions and regulations are made by intruders, or now by governments which affect us so badly, and we remain helpless, once again, as in we are Namibian too. Also in Eyes on Women's Moves, Eyes on the Women's Movement, another reference to African traditions, where women should be free to move, wearing what they feel comfortable in. But with what has happened in latter days is the accusations that provocatively dressed women can or have themselves to blame. And we remain helpless. It is only through art that one can act. Reference to the kings and queens of traditional authorities in that piece, who are silent to the way women dress, to unemployment, to youth matters. The pieces with cultural references, the lighter way, is the Gongola festival time, that side. Stems of grasses, which are used as compositional elements. If you closely, so beautiful and fine. There is one in the house, one Mogona festival in the house and one in the village. Faces in the form of marula nuts with eyes. Come and enjoy together in the village with a celebration of what is a viable, available marula, the available product that has so many uses. On a different note, we see Actifel, whose life's calling is clearly to be an artist. And this was one of the key questions that I asked him. Some small details as a child in those years, we all used to draw in the sand when needs must. Curiously, his schoolwork when he had to take notes was remembered in visual mind maps, which was a beautiful detail that I really appreciate. Going on to use whatever was available as an artistic material. That Actifel is an artist is unmistaken, and we hope you will support. These are works that I can vouch for, having spent 3 days preparing, looking, going back to see what can be chosen to purchase. These are works that you can live with. Thank you. I want to wish Actifel good luck.
I also would like to introduce Solomon Onlooker.